Here we have a 1999 Lexus RX300, and I'm going to replace the rear pads and rotors and adjust the parking brake. And first step is you want to open up this cap, the brake fluid reservoir cap. And these are some of the tools you're going to need. As you can see, I have them laid out. I'm not really going to go through them, but if you're willing to do this job, you probably figure out what you're going to need anyways. So the first step is make sure your parking brake is loose, is not engaged inside the car. The next thing you're going to want to do is I'm going to go ahead and loosen. There's some bolts in the back of this on the back of this caliper. I'm going to go ahead and loosen those as a first step. So here we're going to have a size 14, and then we're going to stick that on in here, and I'm going to use a breaker bar to loosen a bolt. First one, and then the second one right here. Okay, the other one you're going to want to loosen is this one here too. Slide pin bolt. So that was a 14. This one is, I believe, a 12. And that's correct. That is a 12. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to loosen this guy. So those are loosened. So I'm going to unscrew that slide pin bolt. Right here. And then you're going to want to open this up right here. And you can use this guy here. You can use this too. Secure this temporarily. Remove these pads. I'm going to go ahead and clean that up just a little bit. Get some of that grime off of there. Like that. Okay. And you want to clean this side too a little bit. Okay. And the next step we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take the old brake pads and I'm going to brake adjust tool right here, the piston compressing tool, and what we want to do is push the piston back in. And it might be a little tricky to do that here, but it looks like it didn't really pose much of a problem. So because these brake pads aren't that worn out, and so it can be difficult in cases like this to push the piston in elegantly. And in my case, I like to use this tool because it eliminates really any risk of bad things happening. Now while you're doing that, you also want to check the reservoir here, make sure it's not overflowing, and we're almost at the top, but still got some playroom there. I'm just going to go ahead and compress this all the way. Double check over here. And we're still good. Once you feel you've done enough of this, and then not leave me alone. So yeah, now that you've pushed the piston in all the way, and now we can work on removing the rest of this assembly. So what we want to do here is loosen the other bolt back here. And the second one. And now this whole unit will come off. Now what you want to do actually is we're going to want to clean this off, so we're going to take this out of here. We're going to put fresh grease on that. But in the meantime, we're going to rest it over here, so it's out of the way. Okay. Now we're going to work on removing this rotor. First thing you want to do is you want to pry out the seal right here. And this normally would be used for parking brake adjustment, and you guys will see that in a little bit. So we got the seal for the parking brake out. And next what we want to do is you want to loosen the parking brake all the way. And what you do is look in this hole. There's a star wheel here, and you just spin that wheel down until you've loosened it all the way. Okay, so loosen it all the way, and now we're going to remove that. And so to remove it, you need a screw that looks kind of like this. It's a metric bolt, and it says 8.8 PM on there. I'm not really sure what that means, but hopefully this is enough information to know exactly what one must do. And I think the head on this one is a 13. So what you want to do is just pop that in there, and then you want to alternate sides. There. The old rotor. Get rid of that. So now here's your hub assembly. Parking brake shoes right here, 1 and 2. And these are actually pretty worn out, but customer doesn't want them replaced, doesn't care. So we're just gonna leave them. Yeah. So the next thing we're gonna do is we want to clean all the rust and all the surface imperfection off of this hub assembly here. So to do that, we have a special tool. This guy right here. So this is a disc rotor hub cleaning tool. And next, take the brush, cleaning off the excess. Okay, and then we'll brush the brake cleaner. Hold it down. Okay. And we're going to see what kind of measurements we get. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm still doing here. So you want to place it about 1/2 inch from the edge of the rotor, and you want to press it down in the gauge. Actually, I forgot to. Kind of like that's what we want. So first I'm going to tighten the part that holds the gauge. Looks like I haven't really done a good job of that yet. Okay, now the gauge is secured. Next is to tighten by unscrewing that. I'm actually tightening this cable. So about 1/2 inch gauge you want, so you can read it from the top. And you want to press down about halfway, like this. Press down about halfway. And then once I engage this, should be fairly stationary. Of course, I forgot to tighten this. Okay. Again. Okay. Now you want to adjust this. I want to make sure it comes back to the same value. It looks like it's doing that. What we want to do is set 0 there. Okay. And watch how much run out we get. So that's about a little over 1 right there. And it's looking pretty good. I don't see this. Oh, there's, yeah, a little over 1, just like the other side. So it looks good, and leave the rotor right here. So our runout check is good. Done with the tool. So now we know we're going to leave our rotor on here. And next thing is to adjust the parking brake. So to do that, you want to tighten up that wheel, that click wheel. And to loosen it, we had to go down. Now we're going to go up to tighten it. First thing you want to do is tighten all the way up. And these, remember, these were loosened all the way before, so that's why it's taking so long. So now we're starting to get some resistance. And the rotor is locked, so it's good. Now let's see how many clicks it will take to unclick it. So that, okay, now there's some movement. So now we probably want to back off 4 more clicks. 1, 2, oops, 3, 4. You want to hear just a little bit of a drag when you do that. So I'm going to tighten it up again just to do double check. And I'm not doing that right. Okay. Tight. Click down. 1 click down, and we have movement. Okay, good. So 4 more clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's good. Okay, parking brake's adjusted. The only thing would be adjusting the pedal. Engage the parking brake. And let's see how difficult it is to move this guy. So that one's not really moving. Let's try to move this guy. That one's not moving either. That's good. Parking brake's on, it shouldn't move. So now we're ready to reinstall the caliper and bracket. One thing we need to do is clean okay. Put some grease on there. Once you get that on, go ahead and reinstall the caliper. Whatever you see down there. Same thing for the bottom one here. Torque spec for this is 34 foot-pounds. This is already set to 34. This just got loose. 34. And same thing for this one. Also 34. Okay. So yeah, I'm not putting the, for some reason these pads, they're you know, it's either a curse or a blessing, but they have a lot of material on them. Yeah. So, you know, I'm going to have to wait to put the shims on later for this outside pad.
But you put the inside one in?
Yeah. Kind of funny, you know?
Did Lindsay call?
Yeah, she did. She said she's not coming.
She's not?
Hey, let me do this and then we'll talk afterwards. Okay. Okay. Just going to snug this down. Okay. So that's it. I'm done with this.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Can you press the shutter button once? On the top of the camera.